Hi everybody, and welcome to
The Movie House.
Today we're going to talk to you about a little movie called Blast from the Past from 1999.
Now, I'm the one who turned Wally onto this. I really like Brendan Fraser. One of my favorite movies is The Mummy. But again, Brendan Fraser is such a fun actor, and I really like him in Dudley Do-Right and George of the Jungle and Blast from the Past. So Wally was unfamiliar with it, and what did you think?
Overall, I liked it. I thought at its core it was very sweet, had a very sweet sort of center to it and energy to it. But it didn't really work for me completely. I thought there was a lot of missed opportunities.
Yes, I agree with you. I really liked the movie. The great acting, Christopher Walken, who's one of my favorites, Alicia Silverstone, Sissy Spacek, the guy from Kids in the Hall and Radio, Dave Foley. A very young Nathan Fillion, which I totally forgot was even in there. I probably didn't know who he was because I didn't see Serenity and Firefly until years later. But it's a really cute idea. It could have, I think if it had a little more speed to it, if it was tighter, because it's a great story, great plot. I don't want to give it all away, but it's a family who believes that we're being bombed by the Russians. It starts in the Cold War.
Right, 1962, I think.
And ends up in the 90s, correct?
Right.
35 years later.
Right.
So, but very cute movie about when you bring somebody who's been brought up basically in the early 60s for 35 years and is put out into mainstream 1990s America. Very interesting. And the contrast of culture and views is very interesting.
Yeah, it was written and directed by Hugh Wilson, who I like a lot of his stuff. He wrote and directed Police Academy back in the 80s, which was a raunchy comedy that was very popular back then. Guarding Tess is another movie I like that he did, which again, it has a very sweet core to it, but worked much better than this one did, in my opinion. And I thought it was very interesting to me was that when you contrast the Brendan Fraser character, who's been sort of hermetically sealed in the early 60s with his parents, and he comes out into this modern society, he has all the virtue, all the right attitudes and mores that have been lost by everybody else over the last 35 years. And he functions so much better than any other character.
Yes. And
it's so interesting. I don't know if that was intended or not, but that's certainly what I walked away from it getting as the message, is that those mores that from the early 60s, before the free sex movement, the drug movement, all that kind of stuff, really work.
Yes, absolutely. And again, like you said, it's a sweet movie. Mm-hmm. And in some of the best scenes, there's a fantastic dance sequence. Yes. And Wally was shocked. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that fantastic? Isn't that great? But it's a sweet movie. And I like it. It's an interesting story about what if this happened. How would people react? How would people respond? And it's not one that I keep in my movie collection, but it was a blast blast from the past for me to share with Wally. And you never know, this might become one of your favorites. Yeah,
it had a lot of great individual moments that I think are worth a viewing. Excuse me. I can't recommend it wholeheartedly overall, but for the reasons I mentioned before, I liked its heart.
Yes. And
there are a lot of really good moments in it that are worthwhile. So it's not a bad way to spend a couple hours.
Right. Check it out.
All right. Check it out. And that's it for us here in
The Movie House.
We'll see you next time.